All right, in today's episode, I have a founder who's working on the problem of allowing foreigners to come into Japan and settle very easily. She is Maryam Fallah, and she's the founder of Buddy. Welcome, Maryam, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here talking to you and sharing my journey.
Yes, absolutely. Me too. I'm super excited to chat with you. We've spoken a few times at some networking events about your journey. It's a particularly interesting one because it's, a little bit different from other entrepreneurs, right? So why don't you walk us through how you came to Japan and why are you so passionate about the problem you're solving? Yes.
Yes. Actually, I'm here in Japan since May 2022, and I moved to Japan through my job. I'm from Iran, and I've been living in Iran and Tehran all my life before moving to Japan. But since 2016, with a Japanese company, I started in Tehran office, and then they offered to relocate me to work at headquarters, and I was like, yes, why not? It's a great opportunity. So since 2022 that I'm here in Japan working at headquarters, I'm really enjoying all the support from the company that is bringing me here and is supporting me in everything. So I'm not dealing for finding house, I'm not dealing with my tax, I'm not dealing even with healthcare. So everything is really ready for me. But when I've been talking to my other colleagues from different business units in the same company, I figure out somehow the support is not the same for all of us, which was like, I was wondering why. Like, okay, my business unit is really supportive, but why other business unit is not? And why whole company doesn't have like just unite like structure for all the overseas employees that they are inviting us here. So the whole journey actually for Buddy starts from this why and how we can help the company to change it. I've been working in automotive industry for over 10 years, so it's not really related in what I've been doing. I've never touched HR word or supporting other colleagues or those kind of things. So with another colleague, we start talking to all overseas employees in the company, and we are about 60. And we heard that like there are common challenges for all of us. Although like I'm having a good support, someone else doesn't have support, but still we have common areas and common challenges that somehow we should talk to our company and try to change the whole situation because we see how our company is working hard and how they care about diversity, how they care about inclusion. So why not working together? And we have been so lucky that we have good HR in our company that they're listening to us. So we shared the challenges with them, but we didn't go to HR just to say, hey, we have these problems. We went there with some solutions that we thought we can help from our side. And we said, so why not to start with a buddy inside the company? Why not to start by sharing more information through the community of overseas employees inside the company? It's a huge company, 5,000 employees in Japan only, and 42,000 in the world. So it's a huge company, but like we said, let's just start a small for this small group and we are ready to help. So when they saw that we are passionate also to help, we are not complaining and we are not nagging on them and we are not demanding, they were so supportive. And they told us, so why not you are starting a group inside the company? Like it can be the first employee resource group inside Mitsui and we support you with that. Then we decided to start the group inside the company. We call it Bond, Bridging Overseas Network Development Group, as a volunteer group at the beginning. And we start like asking people to join us as core member, and then we start asking other passionate people as volunteers to join us, and then we just spread the word and we got the support from HR, and then we make it like as a big group that we have over 100 members, our overseas employees, our Japanese colleagues in headquarters, and now Bond actually is official group, so it's not volunteer group anymore, and we are kind of bridging the gap between like HR and overseas employees, and we are helping to improve the whole D&I also in the company. So everything starts from there in 2023 by Bond, and we start having some workshops inside the company by teaching about the Japanese business culture to other colleagues to help with the onboarding, to help with the whole like situation that we have, like if the support is not enough for onboarding, if the support is not enough for information sharing, not for settling in. So actually, we change a lot of things inside the company, and I'm so proud of Mitsui that is really open to listen to us, and is also like passionate also to change and very flexible. And then in 2024, with that friend, that she's not with Mitsui anymore, but we were talking like this support can be needed also out of our company because it's a common challenge among everyone, whoever we are talking to. And then we said, so why not to take it outside Mitsui? And so that's how then my entrepreneurship journey starts. So I'm really lucky that our company is having the incubator arm and early VC stage for 0 to 1 accelerator or incubator that we call it Moon Creative Lab. I'm really lucky that we have this one. So I prepared like a business plan, just very brief one, with whatever I knew. I didn't really have like exact business plan and I should do this, do that. No, but I just know the pain point, and I knew that what I can offer probably. And we just submitted this business plan and business idea and pitched it to Moon Creative Lab, and it was accepted by Moon. So I was so lucky. And then Mitsui gave me like this choice that you can choose staying still working like in business and even going to other offices, not in Japan but other countries, or you can stay in Japan and work on your like startup idea. And I was like, yes, I want to start being an entrepreneur, start this journey and helping other people, same as myself, because I'm familiar with the pain point. This is how it started from corporate to entrepreneurship.
Wow, that is such a journey, huh? And it's great that Mitsui was so supportive of you throughout the whole entire way. And, their partnership with Moon Creative Lab and, being able to get you in that accelerator program. I mean, it's just support the whole entire way, right? So it sounds like that, your journey was more of an intrapreneurship journey. Can you explain what the difference is to anyone who doesn't know?
Well, that's true actually. So, I'm still with Mitsui. I'm still employee of Mitsui, and my title is changed like as senior manager or whatever to EIR, entrepreneur in residence.
Mm,
So, I'm still considered as Mitsui asset.
right. Yep.
So, I'm giving this opportunity from Mitsui to build what I believe in. And Moon also is helping me by providing some resources that I can ask, like through engineers at Moon, designers at Moon, and also like all the nice and experienced management that we have to help me through the journey. And when I'm not incorporated yet. And when I being incorporated, Mitsui also will be the shareholder together with myself. So this is like maybe the big difference that maybe I'm not so much worrying about like funding
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning.
Right.
Yes.
That's the biggest difference, right? Where the company has given you like all the resources, right? From whether it be talent, but also funding to help you build. The company is kind of like the co-founder, right? And they're like
Kind of.
they're
Yes,
helping
kind
you.
of.
Yeah.
Yes, they're helping. Although still I have to do everything by myself. I have to figure out everything by myself. Even for using the resources, I have to convince them.
Mm,
And still because I'm EIR, I should report to Mitsui like every 3 months. It's really serious reporting. It's not that they give me the freedom, just go and do whatever you want. No, because I'm still their asset and they're investing in me. So I should convince them every 3 months that it works working on. There is a demand for it, there is a good market, and I have a good solution for it. Like,
Mm,
so yeah, it's although it looks really great that I agree with that package, but also it has its own challenges. It doesn't have like 100% freedom
mm,
of, an entrepreneur who is like outside a company and looking for a funder or
hmm.
investor, but at the same time I have other privileges that maybe
Right.
other founders they don't have it because I have a backup,
Hmm.
so I have Mitsui.
That's right. Yeah, you're in a model where you get to get all the skills that an entrepreneur would get by themselves, but with that backing and that security, which is very rare and unique, right?
Yes.
So what have been some of the challenges so far with starting, your company, Buddy? What's been, some of the biggest things you've been dealing with?
So, I know the pain point in the viewpoint of a foreigner in Japan.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to build my platform, my solution, which is focusing on the benefit of the foreigners. But also for me to start is like for B2B business model. So selling the package and the platform to the companies, and then they can support better the employees. So the whole support and the platform that we are offering. I can say like the biggest challenge is that I've been focusing more only on the foreigners,
Mm,
not that much on the other side because my contract party and another user is like the company,
mm,
HR and admin. So I have to learn still more about their process, their challenges with dealing like with the foreigners. So as an entrepreneur, I'm every day learning like how I can improve my offering, my services, and my platform. I'm not saying like customizing for each no, but I have to be flexible to offer something that can help both users, the
right.
primary user as a company and the end user as a foreigner in Japan.
Mm,
So this is one of the challenges for doing the business that I'm facing and figuring out moving forward. And then the other challenge is, although I have Moon, as I said, and Moon has its own resources that I can ask to use them, and they help me through the journey. But I have to figure out everything as a solo entrepreneur.
mm,
So I have to wear a lot of hats.
yes.
And I'm not a tech person, I'm a mechanical engineer. And unfortunately, I don't know anything about coding or design or those things. So definitely, I need a team to help
Mm,
me. So building that team also is another challenge for a person like me that I don't have those technical knowledge. But so far, I've been lucky to meet great people around me, to have great connections through some networking events, through asking Moon to help me with the resources, and so far, pretty good. But moving forward, maybe more challenges.
Sounds like it, definitely, and I think that, you might have be like very constricted in terms of some of the things that you can and can't do. Maybe something that goes, I don't know, maybe the risk profile for being an entrepreneur, somebody who's working under a larger corporation, that must be a very fine line. Is there like some rules or constraints that you have to really watch out for in terms of some of the things that you can and can't do?
Yes, yes. So as I said, I have to report like every 3 months to get approval to move on. So there is always the risk like they
Oh my
say,
God.
hey, it doesn't work. So I have to convince like many people with corporate mindset about this entrepreneurship journey, which is totally different from corporate life. So I'm experiencing a new life since 2024, to be honest. So it's very difficult to like convey the whole challenges that we go through, and we need more time to prove something, or like we have to pivot so fast. This is one of the challenges. And the other limitation is like because sometimes I'm asking to use the resources at the Moon Creative Lab, or like I ask for the support from the company in case of anything. I should convince them with like many evidence, with many presentation materials. So, again, somehow I'm stepping into that corporate life, dealing with a Japanese company to convince those corporate people that this business plan works and we need it for this short-term goal, we need it for that long-term goal. So again, even for using the resources, I'm having some limitations. So it's
Sounds
not
like it.
that 100% freedom. And yeah,
But
so
actually, it could end up being really good for you, in your career, maybe when you start in a different company or something like that, because you have to really work on your persuasive skills, right? Your sales skills, your communication skills are really getting enhanced in this type of environment. Also, problem solving. You have to figure out workarounds for all these things that may be constraining at the beginning.
exactly, exactly. So, you're also an entrepreneur, like all the challenges that we've been through. But so far, I see all these challenges and all these pressures like in a positive
Mm,
way. So there are positive pressures so far for me.
that's good.
So I'm happy with that. And I'm just trying, as you said, like to be better,
Mm,
to find a way to improve myself for the future, even for the moment. So it's like Mitsui is not gonna be the only like founder or investor in Body for sure. Then we are scaling the business moving forward. And I need to have like other like investor side. I should be better in pitching, in selling, in convincing, and as you said, for even like having a solution for other challenges. So yeah, I see it as very positive.
Absolutely, 100%. It's a really unique opportunity, and I think that, all these skills are going to help you reach more customers and reach potential employees once you're ready to get to that stage as well. So, a question for you now is like, what stage is Buddy at the moment? Do you have a product or what's the situation, yeah, with your company?
We have the product. So I have actually, like, I call it two types of like services or products that I'm offering. One product is a platform. It's a web app that we help like companies, because it's designed for B2B, but later it can be used for B2C, that I'm slowly in that process. So it's a platform that is a combination of the task management, process management together with the AI agent.
Mm,
So this task management enable us to look into the details of the every step, for example, for moving or relocating to Japan, or every step that like the foreign employees they have to follow up. Because um when I'm thinking about myself, like at Mitsui, that I have, for example, to follow up the whole process of moving from Tehran to Tokyo, it was a long list in a PDF file. Then I start making like Excel sheet. Who is in charge? What is the deadline? And like, what should I do in details? Is there any form for that? It's like very difficult to navigate and go through the process. And many people, they don't do that because they don't have time to do it. And I know that HR of the company also, they're too busy. So they cannot really break it down for everyone. They say, go and read that by yourself. And they help you through the
yeah.
process. But so we help with like breaking down all the steps with who is in charge, what is the deadline for you, and to know the details. Like for example, when we say that you have to register your address in 14 days in Ward Office, why you have to do it? It's not the company rule, it's the country rule that we have to follow. Why we should get our my number card? I see many foreigners that they don't like receive their my number card. They just apply in Show, they just forget about it. And then they hear, oh, they have to use it, for example, for insurance, or if they want to apply for PR, they need that. If they want to do their tax, they need it. And they're like, oh my God. And then it's like additional 1 month's process for them. So we add every details for them through that process. But companies are like can design it as they want.
Mm,
And then having that AI part, our AI is actually it's very interesting. I like it myself because I'm not also a Japanese speaker, and it's very difficult to get access to all the data sources, to all the information, especially in really big companies and corporate like Mitsui. Like when we are searching something on the intranet, um it's just search engine, so it like gives us many like links. We
huh?
don't know which one is the latest one. And many of them they're in Japanese, or many of them, for example, I'm looking for something in Japan, but it gives me the link in Europe,
Oh.
which doesn't work for me, right? So it's very difficult for all of us as foreigners to get the latest information, and we can rely on it. And also, there is no language barrier for it. So for our AI part, we created like a knowledge base, we call it. It's a small brain for our AI that we can upload whatever information and whatever file that we want. And doesn't matter what is the language. So it can be in Japanese, it can be in English, it can be in Persian, whatever. And through the AI, I can just ask a simple question. And then that AI agent gives us the correct answer through the just resources that it has. So it's not a search engine just giving us a lot of links, a lot of information. No. And it's not like ChatGPT, just making up some answers. We cannot sure is it correct or no, is it the latest one or no. So it has limited knowledge, and it can be used in any language, and then it's very fast to access all the information. So by having these two like main functions in our platform, we believe that we can reduce the workload also for HR, in
Mm.
addition to the like satisfaction of their employees, that they are also the end user. Because like as an employee, I'm not going to my colleagues and asking many questions that I can annoy my colleagues. They say, oh, I'm not responsible to answer, or I'm too busy to answer. And they cannot really answer many people at the same time, or sometimes even they might not know the answer. So we believe that we can help to reduce the workload, and our platform is live and we can use it, and we have like different use cases, like can be used for onboarding, can be used for settling it, it can be used even for very like other various like applications like PR. If you want to apply for a permanent residency, I created one as a sample that I shared with everyone on LinkedIn. So we can use it for many different things, by having the knowledge base and also step-by-step guidance. Then the other thing that I'm offering in addition to the platform, because the platform is not helping us to thrive in Japan, just maybe helping us with the information and
Mm.
a step-by-step guidance. So what I'm doing, I'm building the ecosystem of different service providers. I'm not like a specialist in experiencing in relocation, in tax, in like helping people in many things. So we need to have like specific service providers inside the ecosystem. Like now, the ecosystem that I have is consists of like a housing company, visa assistance for the healthcare navigation. That company is very interesting, is providing like healthcare, like translation, or like booking with the or making appointment with the clinics in 33 languages. So that's very interesting service that they're offering.
Mhm.
Or so these are like with the partners, and I'm adding more partners to the ecosystem to have the full package to offer. And at the same time, I'm designing some small things by myself. One of them is about BOSAI, natural disaster preparedness in
Okay.
Japan, that no one is talking about that to us, and we really not familiar what we have to do during the crisis in Japan. Or having a buddy, buddy is also providing buddy like
Mhm.
online and in person for people, which is also offering from myself to the company, and also giving the advice and helping companies to design the relocation also package
Wow.
for their employees. Yes.
Wow, wow. Sounds very, very comprehensive. The offerings that you're working on and already, offering to some of your clients. As you were talking about all the forms that you have to do before you come into the country, it reminded me of my journey when I had to fill out the COE and like do all this stuff for my marriage, the spouse visa. It was a mess, and a lot of stuff is all in Japanese, and you have to rely on these really crappy like translations on the websites to go through this information, and it's terrible. I know it. Actually, I know somebody that I'm going to connect you with after this, that's doing something similar. She's Japanese, but she really cares about like foreigners having a good transition into the country. So I'm going to get you in contact because she has a list
That
of
would
so
be
many,
great.
yeah, so many providers in Kanagawa and Tokyo to help foreigners integrate into each community, and all of them speak in English, which is good. So
Oh, great, great.
that's one of the hardest things to find is like English service providers, isn't it here?
Yeah, yeah. It's very difficult. Very,
Yes.
very difficult. Yeah.
Super.
But I respect it. Like Japanese is a language of this country, so we cannot ask them, hey, you have to change it because of me.
Of
No.
course. Of
We
course.
cannot ask any country. So we just have to respect it and find our way. Like I'm not very like good in learning Japanese, so I'm trying to find my way and maybe Buddy can be one of the solutions to help people like myself if we are not good Japanese speakers or fast learners.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And yeah, absolutely. Like having some of those like Japanese teachers, for example, in your network or ecosystem, I think could really help as well. And yeah, it's for me, I'm struggling as well with learning, but by being here a few years, I think we'll get it. But yeah, luckily I have some survival Japanese, and I think you do too. So just to
Yeah,
get
just
around,
very basic.
just to get around, right? Cool. So my question for you next is, you know, obviously, you have this service that you're providing to some people. Is it just employees at Mitsui, or you have some, external clients at the moment?
So no, actually, it's not for Mitsui. It's like for every company whoever needs it. And the way that I design it, just it was because I've been looking through the process that I have been, and also I've been talking to some other foreigners or like few HR companies. That's the way I design it, and it's a general platform that can be used by big corporates like Mitsui. Also, it can be used by startups that they are just like hiring few foreigners, so not really huge company. So it really doesn't matter what is the size of the company, anyone can use it.
That's really good to know, because I'm sure that, there's a lot of small startups that are really struggling with figuring out all the legal stuff to incorporate and like, get even a bank account and all that type of stuff. I had like the worst issue with my bank account starting off. So if Buddy can help in any sense, that's huge, honestly. I know of a service called Free, FREE, that's been really good as well. But yeah, I think that, Buddy's got some good aspirations. What is the future for Buddy? What do you see the future being for the company?
So, actually, I want to make Buddy like a platform that everyone can use it. Right now, as I said, I'm offering more B2B, which I'm figuring out also for B2C. But I want to make it a platform that all individuals also can use it, and they can find like the information before moving to Japan, how they can li live here, or like so it can be something that every service provider can be there, introduce themselves, and then every user can just benefit it. And going to the platform and see the different service providers, see the different services that they can enjoy. So they are not really stepping into unknowns, and they know from the beginning, okay, I know at least like for housing, these are the like maybe choices,
Hmm.
or for rules I know, like for example I have to do this and that, so people are not really like blind that they just use Facebook groups or go through Reddit and ask the questions. And sometimes like when I'm reading answers from people, it's like, oh my god, that's not correct, or like it's very old information, or maybe sometimes they can good like good hints. So I'm not saying always it's not good, but we cannot really rely. So I want to create that reliable platform.
Mm.
And what I'm seeing for the future of Buddy, that make it as something more general that can replicate to other countries, especially that they are not English speakers, and especially in Asia, in Southeast Asia, that more foreigners are moving. Because I know somehow the culture is the same, for example, in Japan, in Korea, and so many foreigners would need the same services. So I hope that we can also develop and extend
Yeah,
it to other countries.
I can totally relate. I lived 7 years in Vietnam before Japan, and not speaking the language initially was really challenging. So I had to quickly learn. I lived in the countryside and had to really learn the language. In Vietnam, like they did a much better job of like on official documents, especially including English underneath, like all the Vietnamese, which I found great. But still, it took a while to figure out, okay, what do I need to do for this, and that to get my work permit? What do I need to do for this and everything for other things? So I could see definitely a service like Buddy helping all around the world, like in these environments that are like expat hotspots, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Indonesia is one of them, right?
Yeah,
Thailand,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
100%.
exactly. Exactly. So that's the goal. So let's see.
Yeah, I'm
Just moving forward.
looking forward to seeing, you expand globally. Is there any plan to get a co-founder or anything like that? Or do you think you even need one with Mitsui being kind of like your co-founder?
So like Mitsui is like the brand and like the backbone for me, but it's not helping me like as a person, like as a co-founder for sure,
Mm,
right? Uh, but it's really good to have a co-founder, and I really like to have it. And with that friend that we initially started everything, so I was hoping we can continue this journey together. But she didn't stay with Mitsui longer. That's why
mm,
I'm doing it solo. But I really love to have a co-founder. But the issue or the challenge is that it's very difficult to find someone that we can have the same vision or
mm,
same goal or how to get along together. And because I'm not like in the very, very early stage of the idea, because at the early stages, maybe it's easier to start with co-founder, but while we're moving forward, so um, it's getting more difficult. But a co-founder like who is good in tech
mhm.
can be good, or who can like help better like in the strategies is good. So, but it's difficult to find that person.
Let me ask you this. If you were to bring on a co-founder, would they have to be hired from Mitsui or how does that work with your type of situation?
No, that person cannot be hired by Mitsui. I have definitely to get approval from Mitsui to have the co-founder. Uh, but and that person must be on own herself or himself, in case of all the costs or those things. But then later in the future of the company, definitely like the co-founder has a role and is the
Mm,
co-founder. So
hmm
has the title in the future of the company, but
mm,
it cannot be the employee of Mitsui.
I
Although
see.
I'm not sure if it even happened in Mitsui before that someone as a co-founder from outside Mitsui, but can be a little complicated.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it, right?
But it's not impossible.
Mm.
This is
Yeah.
how it's said.
I mean, eventually you'll have to incorporate, you'll have to hire employees like that'll be external. They won't be Mitsui
Exactly.
employees, they'll be
No.
Buddy employees. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming, yeah, like a co-founder would still be the same. It's just that
Yeah, exactly.
co-founder would be rewarded with equity instead of, like,
Yeah, exactly. Just the equity and the title at body, but not being Mitsui employee.
very interesting model. I think that, when people are interested in entrepreneurship, there's so many different ways. Like I've heard of something called venture building, where, like a venture capital firm has already a validated business model and they just need ambitious people to run it for them. This more flexibility there than maybe the situation you're in, but still less because that company is funding that venture, right?
Yeah, and they have the business idea,
Yeah,
so that founder has to work on that entrepreneur has to work only on that field, and
exactly.
yeah, so again some limitations, but that's another way of being entrepreneur. So it shouldn't be
Exactly.
only like you're leaving everything behind, and
Yes.
like yeah.
There's so many different like avenues of starting a business. If you were to do it differently, or if you were to do it all over again, like what type of business would you run after this, like for example, or instead of this? What types of businesses are you interested in personally?
Oh, what type of business? So, I've been always working in corporate, and I've been always involved in the like business itself. Like so how can I say it? Like I've been always in charge of like supply chain
Mm.
or like finding like the companies to do the negotiation for the sales, for market expansion, or those kind of things. So I've seen always myself like before that starting like a company like doing trading or helping like other companies for market expansion or something like that.
Mm.
To be honest, I've never thought that I would start something like Buddy.
Ah,
So
it's
yeah,
pretty cool that I can see some similarities there in terms of like it's instead of like actual supply chain, it's like you're supplying people with information like how to go from
yeah,
one country to the next.
yeah,
Yeah, that's also similar. I see some,
yeah. That's true.
similarities.
Somehow, like, still we can elaborate it as supply
Yeah, because it's
chain
like you got to go from
in a
one
different
process
way.
to the next. Yeah, one process to the next, and it seems similar. So, very
Yeah.
interesting. Cool. So, in terms of, your just challenges that you've had here in Japan with regards to being a female founder, can you speak to anything about that?
Well, to be honest, so yeah, so in Japan, like it's like male dominant country. And like you see it a lot in corporate life, although everyone respects you, but you see it, you feel the difference, and
Mm.
especially when you're a woman and from Middle East, even not a Japanese, Iran, like when they hear like Iranian woman from Middle East, before knowing me for sure, they have some like bias.
Yep.
Uh, so it's kind of challenging for that corporate life, but being as a founder, I think the main challenge is that getting the trust
Mm.
of Japanese companies that I'm talking to them, especially that I'm not a Japanese speaker, and also I don't have like any Japanese person with myself in the room when I'm in
Mm.
the meeting. So they are not telling me directly that's oh you need a Japanese person or something. But then I hear from like people around me that they're really great, amazing people trying to help me to move forward, and they're nicely telling me, like in a good way, that it's better to ask a Japanese person to sit with you in the meeting room
Mm.
while you have meeting with the Japanese company, and they feel more comfortable,
Mhm.
or that would be easier than to connect with them. So, which is not possible. I mean, when I have like the Japanese employees, or if I have a Japanese co-founder, that's possible. But I cannot just ask like a Japanese, like a manager or someone at Moon Creative Lab or at Mitsui, just let's go to a meeting for me. No, they cannot parenting me, right?
Mhm.
And that's not a way. So that's one of the challenges. Like I can say maybe it's cultural. I don't know how to call it, but this is one of the challenges that I'm facing. But at the same time, they're praising me like as a foreign woman trying to start a business here in Japan. So I receive also those good things. But at the same time, for creating the business, that's one of the challenges.
Culturally, I think it's definitely, a male-dominated society, and being a foreigner, and whether you're male or female, is definitely going to work against you. It is good to have that kind of Japanese face there in that meeting, like you said, but you also don't want to inconvenience people that you work with, right? Like, hey, help me with my startup, right? Like, no. That's where interpreters come in, but then interpretation, even then, like for example, I told my wife, like, okay, if I'm wanting to sell something, I need you to, negotiate for me. But it culturally, negotiation, sales, like those type of things are very challenging for Japanese to even bring up amongst each other. And confrontation is something that is avoided. So those are all unique challenges that are shaping your entrepreneurial journey for sure.
And then also, I feel like that's not also real buddy. If I ask someone just to join, that person doesn't know anything exactly about buddy. That person doesn't know about my visions or how I'm developing buddy to answer the questions, and cannot really convey my message to them. And also, like having just a Japanese face in the meeting room, I don't feel like real. So I don't want to cheat or convince them in any way. No, Buddy doesn't have any Japanese employee or any Japanese space right now.
That's right.
If you can trust Mariam, which is backed by Mitsui, let's do it.
Yeah.
Not show me the way how I can prove it to you.
Mm.
And and if it doesn't work, then that's good. Just buy. Right? Or
I love that
or not
attitude.
like
Yeah, I love that attitude. Sometimes you have to have that, type of confidence as well, just to succeed as an entrepreneur. If you let every downside or every like bad event, affect you mentally, then you're not gonna survive. So I love that positivity. Absolutely.
yeah.
Cool. So, Miriam, we spoke a lot about Buddy and some of the problems that you're solving within your business, some of the challenges that you've gone through. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you think we should have spoken about?
I think we covered most of the things, even as a foreigner in Japan, because it's somewhat related to body, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
as a like also I shared my journey as like from corporate life to my entrepreneurship as like EIR. So yeah, I think we covered most.
Awesome. Excellent. So, we have a closing tradition on the podcast where the last person left a question for you, and you'll leave a question for the next guest. Are you ready for your question?
Well, yeah, I hope it's easy one.
Okay. Okay. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Okay, good.
You ready?
Yes.
What do you want your legacy to be?
Legacy, it's a good question. It's a very nice one actually. To be honest, what I've been always like aiming in my life to be beneficial for the community, for the people around me, and try to help them somehow in any way that I can. I really didn't think about that legacy, but maybe if I can really achieve that goal by helping people and empowering them. So the way that I'm saying helping is not just helping poor people, no, empowering people.
Mm.
Maybe can play a good legacy for me. I don't know. If someone thinks that, oh, so there was a person that maybe like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, helped me to figure this out, or help me to find a new way, or help me to find that skill, that can be a good legacy.
That
Yeah.
sounds great. And it shows throughout your actions with Buddy and some of the things you've been doing, helping foreigners and empowering them to settle in Japan and get their life stuff off the ground. It's amazing stuff. Awesome. That's a great one. All right, now it's your turn to ask a question for the next guest.
Okay, that's also a difficult part. I'm always interested in like self-awareness or also leadership development. So I may ask that person the journey that person is through now. It can be entrepreneurship, it can be corporate life or whatever. How that journey is helping the self-awareness of
Mm.
that person
Ooh,
to also be like a better version day by day.
okay. All right. So if I could rephrase, how is your current journey of, entrepreneurship or whatever they're involved in, helping their self-awareness and becoming a better version of themselves each and every day?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. I like it. That's a very good one. I have to reflect on that one myself. So that's very good. Well, Miriam, you have a very unique journey, and I think that that journey is shaping you into becoming a more well-rounded entrepreneur yourself. Whether you take Buddy to global countries all over the place, or you start your own company later on. I think you're going to be wildly successful because you have the right mindset and you have the right goals and ambitions. So thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much. Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
so much for
thank you.
sharing your
Yeah,
journey with us today. Yeah.
thank you so much. I also enjoyed talking to you.
Awesome. That's a wrap for this episode of the Product Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps this channel grow. And if you are a product manager or a startup founder who wants to share your story or some of the struggles that you've gone through in your career, then definitely reach out to us. We'd love to have you on. And until next time, happy building, everyone.